you're working in this community. So they're going to talk about what it's like to work at a data center. They're going to tell you a little bit about themselves. They do allow you to ask questions. They encourage you to ask questions. So in the classes before, you guys, it was a little hard to hear the questions. So we're going to have a mic this time. So if you have a question and you get, there'll be multiple people ready to ask questions. Once they call on you, we'll come around and give you a mic so that we can hear your question. Because we were unable to hear a lot of the questions before, and I think it's just because there were so many people and a lot of students don't speak with a lot of volume sometimes. So we just will make sure we hear your question and that everybody else can hear your question. So I'm going to let them get started. So.
My name's Chris. I'm an OM at the Luckiest Springs Google Data Center. I manage data center technicians at Easter, and we have a lot of fires. My job is to ensure that I grow the careers of others and make sure the internet doesn't go down.
Hey y'all, my name is Raj. I am a data center technician level 1. My job is to make sure that our cloud services stay up.
My name is Mieko. I'm a data technician level 1. My job is basically to keep network running.
And I am Trina, and I'm a level 2 technician, and my main job is diagnosing machines in the labs.
Which you will find out.
About shortly.
Alright, I am going to ask this question in every session because I'm genuinely curious who knows. How many of you know what a data center is? So far, but best group. Awesome. So essentially, we are a facility of multiple departments trying to maintain both our network infrastructure and our hardware, such as our servers and why did the network thing just go on my brain? Switches, up and running at all times. So if you have a personal computer with a tower, so not the laptop, imagine a building with like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of those. Oh, we're good now. Okay. You're gonna watch a quick video.
A Google search, a YouTube video, a connected Nest device, and hundreds of Google Cloud services all give you a response in a fraction of a second. But what really happens when you click search, send a request, or say, okay Google? Well, your message travels over the public internet and into Google's global fiber network. Millions of these requests, or packets of data, travel through miles of cable over land and undersea, converging at one of the many data centers we operate all over the world. But besides delivering quick results back to you, what exactly is a data center? A data center is a building with powerful computers used to run a company's services. It's where information is processed and made available. Data is stored, managed, and disseminated across these computers, and network infrastructure is installed to support web apps, databases, virtual machines, and more. Often, organizations start with their own modest buildings, made up of a few server racks, which requires maintaining these systems, paying for cooling, and handling increasing demand. So many companies look to a cloud services provider like Google Cloud. These providers' data centers have evolved into large campuses of multiple buildings. Hyperscale data centers made up of tens of thousands of servers, process big data, support cloud computing, and serve billions of users for services like Chrome, Maps, Gmail, Search, and Google Cloud. In the cloud world, companies and users can benefit from this scale because of a special thing called multi-tenancy. This means customers can share the resources of each server in a data center, like tenants sharing common resources of an apartment building. Each tenant's cloud systems are isolated and invisible to other tenants. This means higher compute processing and storage, a more efficient use of data center resources, and a much lower cost than if you manage your own servers. Google Cloud customers can even deploy resources in regions across the world, which are enterprise data center locations with 3 or more zones. Zones are deployment areas that map to clusters of machines with distinct physical infrastructure. Companies can deploy workloads across multiple zones to help protect against unexpected failures, something you can't always get with a single private data center. It takes the right mix of energy, cooling, and people to keep a data center up and running. But it's a technical feat Google's managed to pull off to optimize for efficiency, scale, and cost. More on that next time on Discovering Data Centers.
Also, thank you, teachers, for watching us for the 3rd time as well. Oh, this is you. I'm gonna hand it over to Trina, who is super fun at this.
Okay, so a day in a data center here. So daily tasks at Google data centers involving monitoring the server performance, conducting maintenance checks, and addressing technical issues quickly. So myself, Raj, Diego, we have maintenance leads, network leads that basically will go into our systems to determine where our priority work is, and then they'll assign us out to those areas. Then we'll go out and we'll either do a series of repairs where we will swap out broken components with new ones, or we will go in and do what's called diagnosing, where we will essentially talk to the machines through our interface or through different commands and equipment to find out what's wrong with it so that someone can come and repair it. We do work together. Everything is connected from the power infrastructure that leads to the building all the way to the server floor. We need power to power up the racks, and then the racks will power up the machines. And then we also need the network so that we can actually transmit that information out to your phones, to your laptops, to your computers at home. We do have to collaborate with multiple partners, so it's not just us techs in the building. We do work with our third-party vendors that support our fiber infrastructure. We have logistics partners that will support the equipment that we need, move around things that we need within the building. The racks here that you see in the photo is not necessarily, I don't think that was taken inside of the data center at Google, but that is essentially what our data centers, go ahead. What?
That's the image checker.
Oh, okay, well, I said it probably wasn't it.
No, it wasn't. It was.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay, so I was right, it's not in our data centers, but that is essentially what our data centers look like, or what a data center would look like. And each day is a unique mix of challenges and technical solutions, which is part of what we do every day. Is we're not just asking questions, let me reverse this sentence, we're not just answering questions, but we are asking a lot of questions. A big part of our day is collaborating with our peers. So I'm about almost 2 years with the company now, so I'm very, very new. And they are actually newer than me. With the department. I've been at that data center. I'm old. I've been there since 2006, which is probably before some of you were born. Yeah, I see your face, and that's hilarious. That was like 20 years, almost 20 years ago. Shut up. What, college?
Can you just get on with the presentation? Bro, can you just get on the presentation? Can you just get on with the presentation?
What did you say?
Can you just get on with the presentation?
Yeah. I don't know what that is.
I saw that, bro. You can't hide.
I'm not gonna lie.
Wow. All right, so that was just a brief introduction to the day in the life of a data center technician. I'm going to turn it back over to Chris, who's going to talk to you a little bit more about operation management.
Yes, I think this is a little bit more of a compact, so we're gonna talk really fast. How many of you know what an operations manager is? I think the class before was like, hey, just raise your hand. Okay, what is it?
You just manage the operations. You're you oversee everything that goes on basically.
Yes, I like the second one better. So there are two core parts to my job, which is to develop the careers of the technicians. So we do a lot of people management, performance management, helping them to get supplementary training, skill building, things like that. And then the secondary part of my job is managing the day-to-day operations, making sure that things are running smoothly. If the internet goes down, what are we going to do to fix it? How do we prevent it in the future? And root cause analysis and things like that to make sure that we are not falling into the same traps. So that's a brief overview. I'm going to let them talk about being a technician, because we are on a time crunch, and we want to make sure you have time for questions.
Hi, y'all. Alright, so as I said, I'm a data center technician, level 1, right? In the data center, just for a context, all the computers that we have, they will be serving what we call clients or customers, right? And those are services from different companies, like, for example, YouTube, Gmail, or Google Docs. Those are all services, right, that they go through the data center. So my job is basically to make sure that the computers that are powering those services, either by providing storage or by providing processing power, that the computers are working. Also, lately my main function has been upgrade, which is basically just changing storage or RAMs on computers for more processing. Any questions? Awesome.
So my job at the data center is to basically make sure that the network continues to work. Like he explained, once he does that, if we don't have the network going, there will be no connection. So basically, I'm there to continuously watch out for while links are broken for me to troubleshoot it. If it needs to be diagnosed, I diagnose it. What needs to be swapped, the switches that needs to be swapped, the switches that needs to be worked on. Just continuously make sure that network, we continuously have network, we continue to serve every client that we have.
Still no questions, right? Okay. Thank you for answering. All right, so I'm going to just say a little bit, and then I'm going to get back to you to talk about from the hiring manager perspective, crucial skills for this particular job. From my perspective, I think the most crucial skill that you're going to need is curiosity, and you all have it already, so you're already a step ahead. This job, you have to be willing and open to continuously learn because technology changes every single day. And you have to be able to keep up with that. Yeah, I would say curiosity is the most crucial aspect of my job, being nosy. But not in people's business, because I'm not messy.
Right, so as a hiring manager, a majority of what I'm looking for when somebody applies is soft skill based, right? So how well do you communicate, right? And when you think about it, not a lot of people think about the soft skills. We talked a little bit about it when we were back in, I think we were here in April with some of the classes. Communication, effective communication and active listening, and the ability to approach a situation with empathy are the things that are most important to me when I look at hiring a technician. Because I can teach a technician how to swap RAM, or hard drives, or SSDs, or, you know, do a break fix on a fiber optic link. I can't teach them the soft skills that traditionally come through college and through high school, and you learn in your younger years. I don't think formative, that was what I was looking for, thank you. Formative years, to develop habits for how you handle working in the workplace. Attention to detail is very important. It ties into the be curious, right? So, if you come across something and you're not like, I wonder what that is, you know, Google is really big on asking all of the right questions and all the questions we don't even know to ask. That's why we have 78 different technicians, and you're gonna be like, oh, did you think about this? I don't know. Right? Is that wrong? Oh my God.
What did I do?
Using your own skills, right? A machine may tell you, hey, go fix this, go swap this, go do whatever. Being able to use your own thought processes and critical thinking is also going to be important, because just because a machine told you to doesn't mean it's actually accurate 100% of the time. That's why humans still have jobs.
She's talking about skills. You have new skills to be able to do what you need to do. For the time I've been there, I've worked with two managers. She being my hiring manager. Basically, she's an attentive person. Like, she knows what I'm good at. And because she knows what I'm good at, she pushes me into that skill set for me to be able to grow and excel in that area. So when she talks about skill set, she's also in a place where she watches every person that she manages and she pushes you to where you belong.
I really appreciate that. So yes, those are the things that I look at in terms of having skills for working at Google as a whole, right? You need to be able to collaborate effectively. It doesn't matter what department you're in, right? You can get a job in sales, finance, marketing, security, project management, doesn't matter. If you can't collaborate and be a team player and challenge the status quo, right? Just because your boss says so doesn't mean you have to do it. If you think there's a better way, tell them.
Professionally.
Oh, I've done it multiple ways. I've definitely done it professionally most of the time, but I am very passionate about my job and the management of people and the health and well-being of people. So I've got a little exuberant on some ideas like the schedule, which we don't have anymore, by the way. You gotta talk to your manager. Yeah, basically just say, hey, I need, this is my new schedule I need. So, yeah, I was, look, you made me lose my train of thought. I did that to her all last round. So, crucial skills, be a nice human.
Yeah. Be a nice human. I know I had to emphasize that because when you have to work with people that you may not necessarily get along with or you may not necessarily agree with, you still have to work with them. At the end of the day, the only thing that matters is that the services are running, that the projects are being completed. So those soft skills that Chris is talking about will come in handy when you don't see eye to eye with someone, and you may have to bring your manager into it to help come to that compromise. But at the end of the day, your main goal should be getting the services up and running.
100%. Respect the
user, the opportunity, and each other.
Respect the user, the opportunity, and each other. That is our current motto. benefits, yes. Working with cutting edge technology, so I manage new product implementation or introduction, depending on which document you read, but NPI. So I get to see the types of ML or new types of drives and things like that that are coming out far in advance. And work with all those things, and we deploy them and try to break stuff all the time. That's oh, the people. Justice. I said that 3 in a row now. Solving real world problems, being a part of a team, you didn't really get that. Innovation and continuous learning. I will tell you, the learning is the part that everybody says is their favorite. I will say it's the people, because I think that's our next one, right? Like, why do we love working here? Woohoo! Okay, awesome sauce. What do we enjoy about our jobs? The people. The people. I have 78 techs on site just in hardware operations, but we do have other team members in security and logistics, right? All of these people have some type of knowledge that I don't have. Or some perspective that I don't have. So every time I come across any kind of situation, I will end up learning something new, right? The joy of my job is that I have the luxury of maybe approaching situations with a little bit more empathy and sympathy and things like that than some other companies or departments. And so I get to learn the challenges that other people face that I wouldn't even be aware of. So I will say it's the people for sure.
For me, what I enjoy the most is the learning opportunity. Google will pay for your first college degree 100%. So if you do not have, say, a bachelor's degree and you want to get that, it doesn't even have to be in this field, but they will pay 100% of that. They also have a program where if you wanted to go and take additional classes, like a cooking class, or you want to learn how to knit, yeah, they'll pay 1/3 of that for you. They also have free classes that they do, and one of the things that tie into the people is that we have technicians all over the world that develop trainings to help their peers to learn how to do their jobs better. And as a naturally curious person, that is probably my favorite part of working at Google.
My favorite part of working at Google is the people, because I get me being an introverted person, I got to communicate in my own way. People come out of their way to talk to me. People get out of their way to help me, prop me up, share information with me. Even though they know that I'm not a talking person, but they will come around to give me every information that I do need to grow and excel. And another thing, they don't have to micromanage me. So whatever I see in the morning time, pick it up, get it going. I'm not micromanaged. So that's what I like about Google.
All right. Well, I have a couple favorite things. Food. Nobody mentioned food here, which is crazy. We do get fed breakfast and lunch every single day, and we have unlimited snacks, which is absolutely amazing. But also, before I'm one of what? Did you say cake? Yeah, we have a game room, and we have a VR room, we have a basketball court, we have a pickleball court. We have a lot of space.
We have a lot of perks.
A lot, honestly, a lot. But before I worked at Google, I was hired just 5 months, 6 months ago, and I work at a different tech company, and at that company, there was somebody right on my shoulder every single second of my day. Yeah, it was like this all the time. But working at Google, even though I didn't have any of the knowledge that was required for my position at first, they taught me, and once they were like, okay, you got it, I literally eat rice only on lunch and breakfast. breakfast, to chit chat about life. So that's definitely my favorite part of it.
I don't talk to him. Now we're gonna beg again.
Awesome, so we have roughly 15, 20 minutes left. Questions?
All right, so, okay, I'm gonna bring you a motion.
So like, since y'all run the internet, what had happened like last week? I'm so serious, like what happened last week when they
That was
shut down?
Amazon Web Services. Amazon Web Services unfortunately had an issue last week and yesterday with their DNS server, and it did cause their services to be down. That is not Google.
So what?
Google Classroom was shut down.
This guy gatekeeping every single thing he says. Huh? This guy gatekeeping.
It could very much be because you're running on.
Because this class link runs on AWS, and all of our classes and stuff are through ClassLink.
I got a question.
Like Amazon something.
Y'all mentioned there being levels to this. You were a level 2, level 1, level 1, level 1. What's the difference? Like, what's the highest level in?
I am a level 5. The highest, I believe it's level 12. That's, I assume, CEO level. Typically, when you think about a director, that's going to be like 8 or 9. Highest level for a technician is capped at 4, and then they can divert to management, software engineer, coding, things like that, because those will start at 4 and up. Oh, okay. I'll just talk louder.
So there's on an estimate, how much do y'all get paid?
Okay, so when you think about,
It's still not up high, bro.
coming in over the base pay is gonna start between 75,000 all the way up to 105-ish thousand. As an outdoor manager, the base is between 120 and 170,000. I can tell you that, we make more than 6 figures with our equity and our stock and our base pay. And I highly encourage you to go to careers.google.com right now.
Okay, we got a question back here.
So if you've been working since 2006, how come you only moved up to level 2? It was you that's been working since 2006, right?
Okay, so I actually started with security, which was a right, I didn't give y'all the full intro of how we actually landed at Google. So, I actually started in 2006 as a security officer, and I worked at that facility as a temporary role as a contractor position. As a Googler, which is what we call our full-time employee, I've only been there 2 years, so I actually promoted before my 1-year anniversary.
Which is actually typical.
Yeah, most people don't promote in their first 10 months.
Promotion.
You know you Amy.
Are y'all in like competition with Safari?
Oh, that's no competition.
Yeah, like.
Oh. That was an ass question. Oh, yeah. Nobody uses Safari. That was the dumbest question ever. That was the dumbass question.
So,
You're all positive, though.
I was using your manager.
Well, she's not my manager, but she's
Their manager.
I have two questions. What food is it?
We actually got this question before.
So, I manage food services. We have 3 different options throughout the day. Personally, my favorite is the tofu. That's not everybody's favorite. It is, the tofu is amazing. Anyway, steaks, lobster. Typically, on Tuesdays, it's like a Taco Tuesday style. And we also have omelets made Tuesdays and Thursdays, chicken biscuit on Wednesdays, and Mondays is usually. No, either egg benedict or. No, that's not what it is. Right, so it just depends. The one on my speech street has a run book from.
Oh, it was you.
Second question, how do I apply?
Careers.google.com, and the age is 18.
No, it was not.
Yes, and they hire at 18. But I will tell you, it's kind of a difficult process. So, fun fact, Google's entry rate is, I want to say 0.2%. Harvard's is like 1 something, so it's easier to get into Harvard. So I would say start now, and work through the process. So even if you're not quite 18, it does take a minute to get through the process. It took me 6 months. I know Sid and then, wait, you are already Sid with M&K had to do 16 interviews across the year. I had to do 8.
But it just depends on what you're interviewing for.
Yeah, it's site lead is,
You know, the higher, the more complex your position, the more information.
Other questions?
Why do you only allow a few amount of characters in your searches? Like about 32.
So I can only say that that's something that somebody above our heads made that decision, because that's not even what we do.
Yeah. No. My guess is you're not putting the internet.
Can y'all pass it up?
Oh, yes.
I know somebody in the back had their hand up.
What? Because I've done a lot of search before.
How you know that?
What do you mean?
It was this
I
motherfucker.
just
Was you
said
looking
it.
something up? Yo,
I looked-
acting so casual, bro. You know you touched this. No, I knew. He blamed it on me, you know.
Search a lot of stuff.
They'll come in for 6 weeks and work with us for 4, and work with the structured team for 2 of those. I do know the sales office and things like that, they will have a different kind of internship. And that would just, again, be careers.google.com. And then we'll go active internship.
Last question. Speaking on the process that you said, generally speaking, what is the process beginning where you guys are like right now? Like, what steps are y'all taking? What are the building blocks that you all are? And then now being in a position to talk to us.
Yes. These are most recent.
So it's, the process itself is not overly complicated. There are a few requirements though. It would depend on which kind of position you're applying for. But mostly you just go to the website to find the position that you want, on the location that you want, and you apply for it, right? So you upload your resume. There are certain advantages that can put you ahead. One of them is having some sort of technology certification. So, for example, when I was hired by Google, I only had a Coursera cybersecurity certification that was 2 years old. You know, so that's the process. And once you get the interview, as Chris mentioned, what they will be looking for is your soft skills. So during my first interview, they asked me what is the post, to describe the post process. I had no idea what it was. Yeah, I was like, what? What is post? No idea. And then they asked me they said, what is a BIOS? I didn't know that. I didn't know anything. Yeah, so of all the questions that they asked me, I couldn't answer those 2 questions. They're super basic, right? But I still went to the next phase, and the reason is I had the soft skills. So good communication skills, an ability to pay attention and to focus if people are talking behind you. But that's the process. So basically, they'll be looking for your soft skills.
So for me, I went to 10 agencies. About 10 agencies. I worked as a temp for about 3 months before after they hire on. And even though I worked there for a year, 3 months, I still have to go through the interview process. And that helped me because I've worked there before. I've been working there. So every question they asked me, I had knowledge of it. So that would be another way to be able to answer through the temp agency, and then you can go ahead and move to it.
So I did nothing like what they did. I had no certifications. I went through YouTube. No, seriously, for 2 weeks before my interview, all I did was study. I made flashcards, I took notes. I did mock interviews. I used AI, I used chat. And I literally wanted to interview as if I were interviewing for a level 1 position. And that's how I prepared for my interview. And I actually was offered a higher position than I was looking for, which I wasn't. So I'm glad I started over.
I have a friend from when I was 12, goes to DC in a different state with her, and I was like, oh, this is all company different. I did it anyway, did it here, and applied, and I was there. Yeah. This was right here.
Do y'all get the Google Pixels for free for the phone?
Yes.
Do any of y'all have iPhones?
You're working against your company.
Trade it to our company.
Samsung.
What?
Samsung.
My question is, yeah, it was suggested.
Thanks. Look, bro.
I can't say it.
We don't have access to any of her data. It depends on the person, their work ethic, and their desires, right? Like, I have been here for 2 years, and I just went up one level, but it took 3 tries. For any reasons. Less than a year?
10 months.
Yeah. Right, it just depends. Yeah, and L1 tech remained L1 for.
I've been working like a dog just to keep my phone fed.
Right, because as you move up a level, so does the responsibility.
Your career goal.
Obvious, almost said it.
So, no. I came from management, and I used to manage like over 150 people. I did that for 5 years, and that wore me into the ground. So when I retired from that profession and I switched over, my goal was not to stay at a level 1. I wanted to promo, and I'm actually preparing to go up another level next year. But I'll probably stay there until I finish my degree, and then I'll move up even further. Ultimately, my goal is program manager, but I know that physically in already done the management. It's very exhausting.
Yeah. Yes. Other questions?
So about like the Harvard thing, is it like a really hard process to get into Google than it is to get into Harvard?
It is because of the level of it. So think about how many people would apply, right, to Google here in Harvard, right? So obviously there's stuff that we get millions of applicants. And to be able to filter through that, and there's only so many open jobs. Like that would change as time progresses. Data centers are gonna be popping up everywhere, which means we're gonna need more program managers, which means we're gonna need more salespeople, more material handlers, right? So as we continue to develop more data centers, it opens up opportunities everywhere. But it is just the ratio of how many people apply to how many open positions there are.
So, just to give you guys some perspective on how that process goes, during my first round of interviews, my first interview was with a gentleman that was working on a data center in Chile. So, you can apply from anywhere in the world to work anywhere in the world within Google. And you will be interviewed by different people from different countries. So, I had an interview with a person from Chile. I had 2 interviews with people from Oklahoma here. So it goes all around.
Just one.
I think I have one from Virginia. I interviewed someone from Taipei. Next question.
If I worked for y'all and I wanted to go back to college, would y'all pay for college?
100% for the first degree.
For the first degree, yes.
Second degree is 2/3 if it's applicable to your role, if not, it's 1/3.
What was that?
Not yet. I'm gonna wait till they finish up to get to lunch.
If it wasn't, what did you?
And for me, yes, I got my master's degree 12 years ago. I've been working 15 years later. I always wanted to do Google or Dell or IBM, not exactly sure why.
I am not.
Yeah, I wanted to work in computers since I was 9. So security was just something I got into to pay bills, and I created a career out of that. But when the opportunity came to be able to work in the field that I genuinely wanted, then I took it.
Yeah, for me, I had no idea that it existed. I had no idea what a data center was, and I just hated my job.
I appreciate that.
But I love my job now.
I'll be honest here.
I did not know that Google has a physical edition. And you were in Apple. Yeah, I didn't know that Google had a physical edition. But when I got there, my first technology, I was like, I can't think of because there's a lot of information. There's so many options. Everybody can have information. And they are doing it with the mindset that
They better not start clowning me because technically my question was higher than theirs.
My second question, is it possible for you guys to do tours with some free food and like play
Not at the data center, only 6% of the company can get access. The CEO and the VPs would have to ask for permission to come into the data center because there is customer data on the drives, right? I can tell you West Peachtree does some stuff, I don't know what it is. So, TBD, I will let Ms. Hernandez know.
Why are all Google phones have super long names? I never understood that. like all the phone names are super long. Because I remember I seen an ad on TV that said the Google Pixel Flip Z7. I don't read that serious. That's so they have a Google name on it.
It could be powered by our chip.
I mean, we have to, that's it.
Yeah.
We only have to fix it.
Okay, guys, so, it's about time for, if you have third lunch, the bell's gonna ring any minute for third lunch, but if you are fourth lunch and you want to stay in here because you have more questions, please feel free to do that, but we're gonna let our third lunch people, dismiss for lunch when the bell rings. If y'all just, it should be any minute now, so if y'all just wanna hang out, but while we're waiting on that,
Cut the line, bro.
some of the things I wanted to emphasize about our guests that are here from Google. Number one, from the minute they walked in this morning, they have been nothing but enthusiastic and excited to be here. They are enthusiastic and excited to tell you about what they do and to tell you all that they know about Google and to share that information with you. Another thing, and I don't know if y'all noticed it, as they're passing the mic around and one might have a question, they encourage the other one, come on, you can do it, you got this, you sounded great. Like they encourage each other. So we're looking at three things: enthusiasm,
I didn't even clap that time. You're just
and
rage bait.
encouragement as a team. All of those things combined make a great team when you're talking about at a workforce, or even if you're on a team at school or for a project. All those things are very valuable to have a successful project, a successful team. So thank y'all for bringing that with you today. That's awesome. And look, they have been talking for 3 periods and they've had no caffeine, so this is them, they're excited. This is their enthusiasm. So how awesome would that be to work at Google with people like this, right? That'd be awesome.
Let's start the dates.
So again, if you are fourth lunch and you still have questions, when the bell rings, you are welcome to stay and we'll get those questions answered. And for our third lunch people, you're gonna miss those questions, but if it's really good questions, we'll try to share that information with the teacher so they can pass it on. But are we looking at the bell ringing? If y'all wanna